Greetings and salutations. Welcome to another episode of 365 Days of Gaming. I really appreciate you taking our time to check out this video. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Greatly appreciate it, so thank you in advance. Now, today's particular game is a game that I played not on the original platform for it and did not know about the actual real way to play this. So I'm gonna tell you a story about how I was introduced to this franchise. So this is Diablo, but Diablo for the PlayStation. Some of you may be hearing that and going, that's preposterous. Why would you play Diablo on the PlayStation? Well, let me give you a little context first instead of you just judging me off the rip, right? I didn't own a PC until the early 2000s. And even then, I was not familiar with PC gaming. I was a console gamer. So the thought of my PC doing anything but helping me write these papers, you know, until I started to find out about all these PC games, where it was kind of weird, right? I'm still a controller biased person, as everybody who knows me knows that, right? So I rented games back in the day. That's what we did. And I used to see this game Diablo, and it had the cover of, Diablo on there, the devil looking dude. And I used to just be like, a little, action adventure game. I'm usually thinking about these type of games in the sense of like Final Fantasy and stuff like that. That was kind of my frame of reference for, RPGs, right? So I'm like, okay, it's kind of like a darker Legend of Zelda, maybe. Let me give it a shot one day. And I get it, and I'm awful at it. I'm getting cooked. I don't realize you got to level up. Also, because I rented this, it did not have an instruction booklet. It only had like some instructions on the back of the Blockbuster case, which basically told you the controls, but not all of the things about the game. So I didn't realize about inventory, like just any of this stuff. I hadn't played a game like this before. I know that may seem crazy nowadays, but back then this was kind of a foreign concept to me. So the first time I played this game, I never even leveled my character up. I just played the game. And then, I picked a wizard, right? You only have rogue, warrior, wizard in this one. And I'm like, this dude, he sucks. He can't take no hits. He dies real fast. He can't kill anybody. This is awful. Not knowing that I'm supposed to be using spells and all this other stuff. So then the next time I rented it, I'm like, all right, I'm going to play with the warrior. And I did a little bit better. But again, I'm not leveling my character up. So as I'm progressing, the enemies are doing more damage and I'm doing less damage. And I remember, I'm like, you know what? Not really my type of game. So later on, I got my PC and I get, my dad brings home the Diablo battle chest, right? Got it from a pawn shop for like $10. I'm like, oh, I remember this on PlayStation. I don't think I like this game, but it's a game. So I install it, I play it. And then it's, I realize this is what Diablo was supposed to be. Now that I got the instructions, I know what I'm supposed to be doing. I kind of know a little bit more about what's the expectations of these games, and I have an even better time. So I was like, let me show the people, more of the start, my origin with this game, and not just because everybody knows about Diablo, right? If you played PC games at some point, especially back then, you know about Diablo, you get it. And this makes even more sense why I was so bad at the game, because I didn't know what I was supposed to be doing. Also, shout out to Battleship Boy for jumping in with me and taking this journey, and also telling me, his thoughts on this version of the game, which was, I appreciate somebody else saying, you know what, it's not that bad. But also he could see why I might have had some trouble trying to play this game, back then. But again, this is the PlayStation. So certain things are not quite the same. Visually, it doesn't look as great. Like, I can admit that I know better, right? There's a lot more loading that goes on when you're trying to do things like just check the menu and whatnot, but that's okay, And I never beat the first area of this game when I had it on PlayStation. Like, I wasn't strong enough. And as you can see from some of this footage, we weren't strong enough. But it was still a good time, and it was a good way for me to reminisce and talk about, a franchise that became more and more prevalent in my gaming journey as I got older, with like Diablo 2 and obviously the subsequent sequels and whatnot. But I wanted to introduce you to this one. So I know you got some Diablo stories. Lay it on your boy. Let me know what you was doing back in the day when this first came out. How did you enjoy it? How many times did you beat it? Because I'm assuming if you played it back then, you probably ran through it multiple times, as most people who weren't me did. So I look forward to that. And as always, thank you for letting me reminisce with you. Y'all have fun. Y'all be safe. Peace.